guys, I'm Carrie Pena. Thank you so much for being here with us in The Moment, our weekly talk show focused on how to live a better life on all levels. And I'm here now with my co-host, Gelie Akhenblit, who is the founder of Networking Phoenix, and Zenobia Mertel, who is a columnist for InspiredMedia360.com. And in The Moment with us today, our guest co-host, fitness superstar and entrepreneur, Felicia Romero. You're the first female guest co-host that we've had on this show.
Really?
Welcome.
Female power. Yeah.
Felicia, a lot of people probably recognize you. You are very well known. You're a self-made woman, and you've graced the covers of so many magazines. You have a massive social media following, but you've been very public about some inner demons that you've had to overcome to get where you are today.
Yes.
And you've been gracious enough to come today and talk a little bit more about that, some of the lessons that you've learned and that you want to share with the audience. And also, in just a few minutes, we'll be talking about a new program that Felicia is developing at her gym, and it all has to do with metabolism. She says that we are working out too much for too long when we can really like compact that and get more bang for the buck.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm going to be listening to every word of what you have to say. Also coming up in the next 20 minutes, Gelie will share some tips on how to improve our body language. Master lifestyle coach Luke Kayyem helps us disconnect to reconnect. We love Luke Kayyem. He always has amazing tips. We go inside the Street Eats Festival, which was super cool, with David Tyda and our intern, who is a total rock star. She does a lot of pet rescue stories for us. So she literally rescued a cat, and you got to see this cat. So cute. But first, let's get to our hot topic, because this is really interesting. So this all has to do today with how to deal with mistakes. You guys all watch the Grammys?
Yes.
I thought it was a great show.
So good.
I loved it. But I especially love Lady Gaga. I just think she is a complete superstar, rock star. Her message is always on point, her voice. So she went, I mean, who else could go and play with Metallica like that?
Just her.
So she had this, high profile performance with Metallica. She walks out on stage, and apparently I read in Rolling Stone magazine, what happened was that the stagehand had accidentally, poor guy, unplugged the wire to singer James Hetfield's microphone before they went on. So what was supposed to be a duet ended up becoming a Lady Gaga solo for most of the performance until he came over to the mic to join her on her mic. I was reading an interview that Lars Ulrich told Rolling. Did I say his name right? Because I'll have the Metallica people writing me. Ulrich. He gave an interview to Rolling Stone saying about Gaga, quote, "Her voice, her attitude, her outlook on everything is so awesome." So I wanted to get some sense from you ladies, like, what do you do when a big mistake happens? How do you learn from that, and how do you move on from that, Gal?
You have to keep going. You know, there's absolutely no sense in getting stuck in that bad energy, because then you're literally stuck in the reliving the mistake over and over. So you've got to keep on moving in order to get into that creative space. You know, and what I can share is that for me, being public, I've made a lot of mistakes, and the first few I remember a lot better than the last few I've probably made, because initially it's just so new to you and you internalize it, but it's life, and you learn to deal with it, and you move on. And like I said, the last few mistakes I've made, I don't even know what they are.
And you speak in front of large crowds. I mean, things can go wrong. Your presentation maybe doesn't come up on the screen, or you don't project yourself or say the things that you want to say. And sometimes if you let that paralyze you in the moment, it's over. Some of the best motivational speakers I've seen, like I had someone, Darlene Santori. She told me a story about how one of her hair extension clips came out on stage.
That would be me. That would probably be me.
And so she saw that, instead of being like, oh, my hair extension. She said she just started unclipping them. And then she said women in the audience started literally like unclipping their hair extensions. Oh, wow. So it became a moment.
Right.
Felicia,
awesome.
you also perform in front of big crowds. You speak in front of big crowds. What sort of techniques do you use when a mistake happens?
I make fun of myself. I kind of go to like that comedic relief, and just make it very humanistic. And hey, we all make mistakes. You got to move forward, whether it's an actual physical mistake like being on stage and forgetting what you're going to say, or a mistake in life. A lot of times it's a redirection in where you're meant to be, right? And you just grow from it. You grow from it. Always take each experience, whatever you may go through, and learn from it. So.
Yeah, I can tell you that from being on live TV for so long, what I had to learn was that things just aren't always perfect, and so sometimes you don't say things perfect, and afterwards you think back and think, I could have said that so much better. But it's like you guys said, you just got to keep it moving.
Right.
So Z, let's talk about how to embrace ourselves, because there is a really incredible documentary that you have been working on, a new report about this documentary. It all has to do with learning to embrace who you are as a human being. Let's show you a clip.
It's an issue that affects practically every woman and girl that I know.
I wasn't tall enough, I wasn't skinny enough, I wasn't blonde enough, I just wasn't enough.
For years, society has been telling women to be beautiful, as if that's the most important thing they can be. After I had my 3 children, I ended up hating my body. So I trained hard, and then you know what? I'm standing there in my perfect body, and I'm not happy. Too much sacrifice, too much time, too much obsession, and it's just not worth it. I don't want my daughter to feel the same way, so I'm going to go find some answers. Why do so many people hate their bodies, and what can we do about it?
So Ricky, have you ever wondered what it would feel like to not worry about your weight?
I have no idea what that would feel like.
I will get body shamed by whoever's on the shoot.
I went through depression from hating my body.
Nobody should have to starve themselves to fit in with how a magazine looks.
This issue was much bigger than I ever realised. When I posted a before and after photo on Facebook, things went crazy.
She's bearing all to encourage women to appreciate their bodies.
It was headline news in Paris, in London, it was in the US, it was everywhere.
It just changed me, changed the way I see myself completely.
This body of mine, it's not an ornament, it's a vehicle.
It's not the main point of life, agonising about not having a body shape that the media insist that you should be worried about.
You open your arms to embrace others.
That for me was gold.
Darling girl, don't waste a single day of your life being at war with your body. Just embrace it.
Don't waste a single day being at war with your body. So Zenobia, you've been studying this and following along with this documentary. What was your takeaway?
Incredible dialogue. She starts the dialogue. Everybody needs to pay attention to this. It's everywhere. It permeates society. She travels the world to find out how come in different countries body image is viewed differently. And I love also that she brings into it diversity with people. It's not just weight and shape, it's color and disabilities. It's such a powerful message, and everybody should watch it. Men, women, it affects us all.
And just really quickly, I don't know if she said this in the clip or not, but it all started with a post that she put up. And how many hits did she get on that post?
Over 100 million views on this post. She posted her body when she was a fitness model, and then how she decided, I don't want to do that anymore, and kind of let it go. And it was so incredibly moving.
And this is a perfect place, Felicia, to start talking about what's going on with you right now, and how kind of your, I don't want to say struggle to get to where you are, but you've had a lot of peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and start there with the fact that you wrote me a note saying that last year there were moments when you wanted to give up. And I actually was so shocked when I read that, because coming from you, you are always driving forward, so positive, going after your dreams, opening up this amazing gym, on the cover of magazines. What brought you to that moment where you thought, I might not be able to do this?
Right. Oh gosh, those moments where things got really, really hard, you know, and you're kind of pushed up against a wall, and you have 2 choices in life. You can either keep going or you can give up. And when you give up, you're giving up on yourself, but I'm also giving up on those people who look to me for inspiration, who come to Fit Method for inspiration. And just because things get hard doesn't mean you should give up in anything in life, whether it's your own personal goals and relationships and career. And it really came back to that whole notion of, what is my why? Why am I doing this? And when I talk to people, and when I talk to the members at Fit Method, and those women, men and women, mainly women, come up to me and say, you know what, Felicia, I'm a better mom because of Fit Method. I have changed not only myself physically, but mentally, and that is so powerful. And that brings me back to why I am doing what I'm doing each and every day, where my passion has led to my purpose.
And you talk a lot openly about the depression and anxiety that you have suffered, and now you're trying to use your platform to help others. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of what you've gone through and how you're trying to use that now to empower others to at least talk about it?
Absolutely.
To not be ashamed.
Not be ashamed, because I think there's a stigma around it. You know, I'm in the fitness space, so a lot of people think, oh, just go exercise and eat a healthy meal and the depression will go away, or you won't be as anxious. And it's so much more than that, you know, and women are afraid to talk about it because maybe they're going to be looked at as weak or emotional, and trust me, I've had my breakdown emotional moments even on you know, my social media handles, and you just have to be real. And when you put yourself out there like that, you are going to relate with so many more people, and just be transparent, just be real, and you don't realize how many people you're helping because of it. I have had moments where my anxiety has paralyzed me, you know, and what I've come to realize is it's here. You know, I've had to disconnect to reconnect, and we talked about that earlier. I had to kind of be self-aware of what was causing that anxiety.
What was causing the anxiety? Do you know what the root issue?
Honestly, it's the pressure I put on myself, the responsibilities, the stress, the weight that I felt was being placed on my shoulders, and not being able to manage that.
Do you have something that's a technique that you now use when you start to feel that anxiety creeping up on you?
Just breathe. Meditation, honestly. In through your nose, out through your mouth. When I teach my classes, I actually practice that self-awareness with a lot of the members. After class, we lay down and I talk to them about something, maybe some positive affirmation of some sort, and I have them focus on their breathing. And remember that one time where you're feeling fearful or anxious, sitting in your car for a minute, just breathing is going to bring you back into that now.
You know, I have to say that I gravitate so much towards stories like yours, both with the people that we have on our show here and also on my podcast, Carrie Pena Reports, because I think that a lot of times all of us have had struggles, but what I like to get through is how you walk through that, what you learned, what you're doing today. So how do you feel today? Because your business is booming.
Yeah.
And I mean, to think that you had moments where you might have given it up last year and now you're soaring again. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel amazing, and I talk to people about this, and you know, those moments where you are pushed against a wall and you are at your moment where you just want to quit is usually right before you're going to have that breakthrough in life, and that was for me. And Fit Method is thriving and launching this new program, and it's going amazing. And now gosh, okay, so I am being tested right now, and I'm so glad that I made the choice to keep going.
Tell us about this new program. Both Gelie and Zenobia are kind of workout queens.
Yeah.
Gelie loves
You guys look fabulous.
Yeah. Z has her whole workout thing, everything.
I love it.
Tell us what you are focusing on in terms of the metabolism, and give our viewers some tips about, you know, how to make better use of their time. Everyone's busy. We just don't have time. to spend hours in the gym anymore.
No. Everybody's busy. The one thing that I can you know, give the advice about is less is more. I used to spend hours in the gym. I used to do hours of cardio. For what? It actually really did me more harm than good. Get in there, 30, 45 minutes. We have 30-minute classes at Fit Method, 45-minute classes, and less is more. You're gonna get more bang for your buck. If you're in there, you're efficient, you're focusing on your high-intensity interval training, you're gonna burn the body fat, and you're gonna boost your metabolism.
And just very quickly, because I'm getting a wrap, a very strong wrap, but you say that you really need to figure out the heart rate so that you can maximize the burning the fat and the metabolism part of it.
Absolutely. So keeping in those fat burning zones, you know, getting that heart rate up and pushing yourself in that 30 minutes. So you bring that heart rate up, and then you rest it and bring it right back down. You're going to be burning calories for a whole day after that workout.
And I always badger her about tips on nutrition, and her big tip is don't skip meals.
Yes.
Please make sure you pack your lunch, do whatever you got to do.
No problem.
You want
Starve
to
yourself.
No problem there.
Do not starve yourself.
All right, now it's time to thrive. And Gelie is talking to us today about, I love this topic, of body language, because I'm always fascinated when I meet people. I'm very much someone who walks out and like, hey, how are you? What's going on? I make eye contact with them, but for a lot of people, it makes them feel uncomfortable. And you talked to us about, and you've been studying this, about how to learn to power pose.
Right.
And I love Gal because she's always reading all these cool research studies. So Harvard researchers found that body language, it can totally change the way that we feel in that moment.
Exactly, yeah. So we all know that other people perceive us a certain way because of how we act and stand, like Carrie, how you were saying, you know, you run up to people, you're so open. But what we recently found out is that the way that we stand actually affects our own mindset. So power posing, I'll give you some tips. Before you go into an interview or an important meeting, a date, whatever the occasion may be, give yourself some time to feel like you're taking up as much space as possible. Imagine yourself filling up as a balloon. Put your arms up in the air, stretch out, maybe do a little dance. Honestly, before big presentations, I turn up my music and I jam out in my bedroom.
I can totally see you doing that.
I do. But what that does is it boosts your testosterone, and when you have more testosterone pumping through your body, you speak clear, you think quicker, and then it lowers cortisol, which is the stress hormone. So it does what it needs to do, but you need to let your body know in nonverbal ways that, hey, something important's coming, let's speed it up. Things to avoid, completely opposite, right? So you don't want to hunch down, you don't want to cross your arms, your legs, seems obvious, but when we pick up our phone to check our email or whatever the case may be, what do? We do this, right? And so before you walk into an important situation, do not check your phone or check it and then give yourself 5 minutes to do the power poses, right? So it's important for our own minds to get queued up. And the other thing I want to mention about body language is that when we first meet somebody, if I were to ask you ladies and the audience, where do you first look? Most people think it's somewhere on the face, maybe the eyes, maybe the smile. Again, studies show us that for a minuscule second, we actually look at the person's hands. Yeah, so this is our mind's way to figure out if you're a friend or foe, and it dates back centuries to where, we were cavemen and we had to figure out, who's approaching us. So for women, it's really important, don't hide your hands behind your purse strap. Guys, keep your hands out of your pockets. And another bad etiquette habit is we're, as ladies, are taught to keep our hands on our laps under the table. If another woman is sitting across from you and she doesn't see your hands, automatically she's going to start to think that you're lying to her.
What?
I don't think you're lying.
And
I know you're all true.
We're talking first impressions, and it's almost like they meet you and they don't see your hands and they already don't like you and they don't even know why. It's a very subconscious thing. So it's extremely important to keep your, so Carrie, that's probably why people love you. I mean, there's many reasons to love you, but if you're running up to people with your hands in the air,
we just came from an event and I was
you were all hands.
I know, I guess that's the Greek in me that I want to say hello to everybody. That's great stuff, Gail. Thank you so much. Now it's time to vibe. And one of the things that we really want to focus on the show is talking about entrepreneurs and people who are making their dreams happen, like you, Felicia, and people who really just stick to it. And you met a local designer. Her stuff is super cool, and she is now hitting it big.
She is. Her name is Dawn Baden, and she designs Lucky Star Jewelry. It's a fashion jewelry line. And her dream just came true yesterday. For years, she has been trying to get into the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition, which just launched yesterday. And her jewelry, 3 pieces, were featured. So this woman has tried for years. She works so hard, and it's such a great feeling to see somebody, sticking to it, not giving up their dream. Right when it gets hard, she pushed through. And when she got that email, she said she could hardly believe it. It just made everything so worthwhile.
And just really quickly, you are going with her to this big jewelry show that you're going to give us the down low on. It's not just a jewelry show.
It's Magic, and it's in Las Vegas, and it's held twice a year, and it's the retail show. But we're doing the project, which is more high-end retail jewelry, accessories, you name it. So
you'll have the breakdown.
Get it all to you, yes.
All that's hot and happening. So now we're going to check in with Luke Kayyem, who is the master lifestyle coach who we love to feature on the show. He is talking, you'll love this, how to reconnect to connect. Take a look.
Hey guys, Luke Kayyem, master lifestyle coach, back for another week of Wisdom Wednesdays with Carrie Pena. And this week's message is simple: disconnect to reconnect. Right now, I'm shooting this video on my phone. I'm connected through my iWatch. I've got my earbuds in, and I'm gonna download all of this content onto my computer. I understand in this day and age, in the technology era, we have to be connected because it allows us to be more efficient and get more work done. But I personally unplug for 24 hours once a week, Saturday at 4 p.m. till Sunday at 4 p.m., which allows me to be in the moment with my family, my friends, and myself. So that's your homework assignment for this week. 1 24-hour period, completely disconnect from everything that's happening, turn the volume off, turn the buzzards off, so that you can be focused and ready to roll Sunday night or Monday morning. Luke Kayyem, master lifestyle coach. We'll see you guys back here next week.
I said it wrong, so that makes much more sense what Luke said. Disconnect to reconnect, but it's a great advice, and he really does follow through with that advice. So thank you so much, Luke. We always have fun having him on the show. All right, now we're going to check out what is hot and happening, and it seems that we've been gravitating toward a lot of food stories lately. So our friend David Tyda, who was our guest co-host last week, he takes us inside street eats, and apparently lobster was the hot ticket. Check it out.
Hey, Inspired Media 360 crew. We're here at Street Eats, day one. The gates have been open for 10 minutes. I can't believe it. And I'm standing in front of the main lobster lady, and as expected, take a look at this. The line goes all the way to another food truck. Oh my God. That's the main lobster lady. She'll be out here all weekend, and there's about 70 other food trucks. So if you don't want to stand in that line, there are plenty of other things to eat out here at Street Eats. So hope to see you guys out here this weekend.
You were there. Thanks for the breakdown, Dave. And by the way, every week we have another contributor who is David Lux, and he goes out to lunch with his mom every week on Saturday. So he also went to Street Eats, and they sent us some pictures, and his mom apparently loves it. So David writes, "Mom loves festivals like this. She said it was one of her favorite Saturdays in months, and they especially loved the barbecue truck, which was a Q Up barbecue, and Chef Fabio from Fabio on Fire, they say is some of the best pizza they've had in this town." So Z, quickly, the festival thing is cool.
So great. I mean, it's a great way to let loose. It's music, it's entertainment, it's families, and there's food. And the food was divine. I mean, desserts to everything. It's such a good time, and they do it so well with their festivals.
Felicia, when you go out to events like this, do you let it all hang out? Are you like, Fabio pizza, and then like, what do you do?
I'm all about, I don't believe in restriction. So I absolutely, try different things. I try not to overdo it, obviously. You don't want to overeat, but try a little bit of everything. And I think that's totally fine,
And Gelie loves to go places by herself whenever she can, because you meet a lot of people at places like that.
You do, yeah. And I can eat whatever I want, no one's watching. My rule of thumb, if no one saw it, it didn't happen.
I love it. It's just being in that moment. So much fun. Now we are going to go out with our intern. We love Kate. She checks out a lot of pet rescues and animals in need. And this week, she is rescuing a cat. Take a look.
Hi guys, this is Dimitri. He was found at about 2 months old, and he was wandering the streets. He was semi-feral, so that means that he didn't have a lot of contact with people or other animals, and he was very, very skittish and scared. So we took him in and fostered to socialize him. He was also super skinny, so we put a lot of weight on him. And luckily, he now has been, rehabilitated, so he loves to purr. I don't know if you could hear him. You might be able to. And he loves now dogs, and he sleeps on my face, and he's a very, very good boy, very sweet. He loves to cuddle. So this just shows that, with a lot of love and a little bit of patience,
Thank you so much, Kate. So we really are trying on the show to be very community oriented and bring, I think, a lot of things to attention that I don't think get enough coverage. And the animal rescue organizations around this state are unbelievable. They work tirelessly to try to make sure that these abandoned, neglected, and abused cats and dogs find loving homes. And so Kate found a loving home for that cat with her boyfriend, who's a police officer. She's like, guess what you're going to be doing? You're adopting a cat. That's what you're going to be doing.
Awesome. Perfect. Good for her.
And finally today, do you have a cat or a dog?
I have 2 dogs.
What kind of dogs?
Oh, they're both rescues. I like a little Chihuahua Terrier mix and a poodle Bichon mix.
So you're
so
a
adorable.
puppy person.
Oh, absolutely dog person. Animal person. If I could adopt every animal, I completely would. I would my dream would be to open up a no-kill animal shelter or something.
I love it. Finally, we're going to check out our Do Good segment, and this is really focusing just on people around town who are doing cool things. And we want to show you a few of the sweet treats that the chefs from all around town have created to raise money for the Girl Scouts. So they reimagined some of the most popular cookies, and tagalongs, Thin Mint, Savannah Smiles, and they incorporated them into their dessert menus. So all of these restaurants, we'll put the list up on inspiredmedia360.com on our show page, but all of these restaurants are doing this through February, and part of the proceeds go to the Girl Scouts, which I love the Girl Scouts, so bravo.
awesome.
And not to mention those desserts look so good. What's your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
You know what? I just tried. Have you guys tried the gluten-free ones? The toffee?
You were just telling me about that.
Really
Sounds
good. And then I like the shortbread ones.
All right, so you're going healthy with the Girl Scout cookies. All right, that is going to do it for us. We hope you will join us each week for In the Moment, our weekly talk show focused on how to live a better life on all levels, brought to you by InspiredMedia360.com. Our mission is to motivate and inspire you, and you can check out all of our shows on InspiredMedia360.com. You can also connect with us on Facebook and on YouTube at InspiredMedia360. And if you'd like to contribute to the show, we would love to hear from you. Felicia, thank you so much for being here with us today.
This was so fun.
Life is short, guys. Make sure you're living in the moment. Take care.